My name is Julie Copette, and I'm dean here at the Sylvania campus, and I'd like to welcome you all. This is a great turnout. There's lots of wonderful food, so feel free to get up and get some more. And today we are celebrating the Asian Studies Award and Focus Award, and the Global Focus Award. And if you're interested in learning more about how you get those awards, it's on the website, or there are many faculty around here who are involved in that program that would be happy to tell you what's required and advise you on some of the courses you take. So the first thing I'd like to do is introduce our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Katie Ho.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see a full house. I want to thank you, Julie, for the introduction. And I just want to say I'm incredibly grateful and honored to be here to help acknowledge and celebrate this group of students that are earning the Asian Studies and Global Studies Focus Awards. And I want to also piggyback on what Julie said. For those of you that are here, maybe learning about these awards for the first time, please, I encourage you, ask questions, talk to our faculty or students that are earning this, and really think about how that could really help influence or be part of your journey at PCC with us. For the students that are earning the awards, you have the honor of joining a community of scholars, hundreds strong at this point, of students that have completed these Focus Awards that are really truly interdisciplinary in nature. These Focus Awards have not only supported students, but have also shaped professional development opportunities and experiences for our faculty and staff. The Asian Studies Committee and the Internationalization Steering Committee really represent a community of dedicated faculty who continue to nurture and grow opportunities for our college. So if you students can help join me in giving our faculty a big round of applause for this incredible work, that would be great. The work of our faculty have helped shape academic pathways between PCC and colleges like PSU and U of O for our students. Our faculty have helped influence the internationalization of curriculum across the entire college. And these programs, this Focus Award, these classes, support culturally responsive learning environments that are critical for our students and for equitable student success. My many thanks to all the faculty leaders and contributors over the years who have carried on and continue to lead this work. So students, I hope that the completion of these Focus Awards represent for you a start or a continuation of your exploration and learning, specifically as it relates to Asian and global studies. Understanding the interconnectedness of our global lives is a benefit no matter where your careers or education take you next. In a 2018 report from the East-West Center, Oregon alone exported over $17.2 billion in goods and services just to the Indo-Pacific region. What that meant for our state is a job growth associated specifically in Oregon that outpaced every other state in the United States. Our lives are constantly impacted by what is happening globally. And the study of the historical, cultural, economic, artistic, societal, the list goes on, impacts of the world around us is paramount. So I want to thank you all students for taking the time and for connecting your learning as you went through the Focus Award courses. Your engagement in that learning also means that you showed up, and I want to thank you for showing up. And showing up in your classes and showing up for each other. Congratulations to our students for completing your Focus Awards. Thank you all for allowing me to come help celebrate with you all, and we'll get on with the program. Thank you.
So now it's my pleasure to introduce Sabina Zeba Huck. She's an artist, of South Asian descent, raised in Karachi with her American mother and her Pakistani father. She received a Master's in Fine Arts in Painting from Boston University in 1998 and teaches fine arts at Portland State University. So if you transfer to PSU, there's a possibility to take a class from her. She exhibits her work throughout the state and internationally, connecting her personal experiences of living between cultures and exploring the creative potential of the many places she calls home. Please help me welcome Sabina.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? Excellent. That was an amazing dance. Both dancers were amazing. Thank you. So let's get my little thing here. Okay. Hi. Today I'm going to talk about how identity is like a window that frames our view of the world. Main kaun hu? Who am I? That was the question I asked my mother on a hot Christmas day in Karachi, Pakistan. What am I? Am I Muslim? Am I Christian? Am I Pakistani? Am I American? Am I white? Or am I brown? She looked at me in front of our Christmas tree made out of feathers, and she said, "You're the best of both worlds. You can be whoever you want to be." And all of a sudden, my window frame became so wide, I almost fell out. So you mean I can just be me? And at the age of 5, it seems so simple. But it turns out it's a little bit more complicated and complex. When I arrived in America at age 18, I was asked again and again to check that one identity box. The Asian box, the white box, the other box. I didn't fit into any of these boxes. And I realized that that huge window had suddenly collapsed into a tiny little box. And then I realized that it's not about fitting in. I had to define my own path forward. And that's an important thing as a young graduate and a student here. How will you define your path forward? How will you understand the world from multiple viewpoints? And how will you bring community together? My art practice is about creating a new vision for a world that's not one-dimensional. Our stories map our world together in this intricate lattice work, and we're all interconnected, even though we deny that all the time. I was born in Columbus, Ohio, but at the age of 1, I moved to Pakistan with my father and my mother. My father was born in India before partition, and he moved to Karachi during the Great Partition of 1947. My mother is an American from Ohio and has now lived in Karachi for over 40 years. I'm married to an Indian man, and my mother-in-law lives with me for almost 14 years, and we have 2 beautiful children that study Japanese in Portland. Yes, we love and fight in 5 different languages. When my daughter was born in the United States, I was struck by the harsh reality of how we judge ourselves by the color of our skin. We define each other by our races here. She had more Indian blood. She was browner than me. She had darker hair, darker eyebrows, a mustache. We had to talk about that. I told her she was different from her classmates, but beautiful and connected to so many communities. And this ability to be able to navigate across these cultural boundaries, across racial differences, is a powerful experience that I want to share with you today. This space of intersecting cultures has many obstacles. From a very young age, I had to reconcile all these conflicting viewpoints, my Pakistani side, my American side, my Indian side, and they're all sometimes battling one another. We are more similar than we are different, and yet We have our shared homes, shared neighborhoods, our shared schools, but we tend to segregate and exclude and profile. This is an image by the artist JR. The other images are made by me. We set up these checkpoints, and this is an art installation by JR where you have this 1-year-old child, a Mexican child, who's on the border there, looking over the American side. JR says, at 1 year of age, he has no idea that a wall divides people. He has no idea of that political context. What is that child even thinking? He asked us as the viewer. I call upon all you here today to break down these walls that divide us and step out of these self-imposed boxes. Places are like people. They cannot be defined by just one story. What is Pakistan really like? My mother-in-law, she's 78, and she has never been. She is afraid, because if she goes to Pakistan, she might be denied entry to India. My father left India, and he has not returned in 70 years. But what is it really like? It's not that different from here. We have the most popular Pizza Hut in the whole of Asia. Oh yeah, my grandmother used to go there all the time. I want chicken tikka pizza, so we'd go there. It's not that different. Growing up, Karachi was called the Paris of Asia, the city of lights, because at night it sparkles like a gem in the Arabian Sea. As a kid, I remember going in the summers to the beaches, and you'd see these giant ancient turtles come onto the beaches and lay their eggs, hundreds of little eggs, soft eggs in the sand. Karachi can be a place of amazing possibility where my American mother founded a school and has graduated 40,000 students in the last 30 years. And yet, the one story that has hijacked Pakistan is the story of terrorism and religious fanaticism. I was in my art studio looking for maps of Karachi in the United States, and I was Googling, trying to find a good map of Karachi, and what pops up is a map from a digital war game called Call of Duty. And the map is actually called Karachi, they named it, where you can click on Karachi and then virtually blow up places that my family and I frequent on a daily basis. Yeah. So how would that be if we found a Portland map where we could blow things up virtually? I took my paintbrush and then I transformed these maps. I painted over that dark, barren landscape that they had created as a stereotype and brought in my memories of ocean and sky and beautiful lotus flowers floating in the space and roots that are like from a banyan tree that you can swing on as a monkey. As a child, I used to do that. So we all need to paint a new vision for our world. And in order to change and transform, Karachi needs to do the hard work to make its way back to being the Paris of Asia. And you know who's on the front line of that? Is women. Women are the activists in Pakistan. They're the cultural workers. They're meeting in houses and collecting writers, researchers, cultural workers, and thinking up great ideas to protest and plan and dream big. We can all find our way to reclaim our cities and build a safer and more peaceful world. But how can we build a peaceful world, I ask you, without acknowledging our past? My artwork asks us to remember these stories. They're difficult. They've been violently suppressed and interrupted, and people want to forget them. The division of India is a story that's not taught in American schools. My grandparents and my father lived through this partition. In 1947 marked the end of the British Empire and the birth of a new Pakistan and a new India. The land was divided along religious lines, and you can see West Pakistan and East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. One British man named Radcliffe in 1947 came to India for the first time for 6 weeks, and he carved up the Indian subcontinent. Yeah. He drew lines straight through states, cities, and even people's backyards. Yeah, I mean, you can go to India or Pakistan, the backyard is in another country. It's crazy. 15 million people became homeless in one summer. Massive displacement. During the transfer of power, there was utter chaos, and people had to flee at a moment's notice. People did not know where they belonged. There was fear and paranoia, and neighbors, Hindus, Muslims, Sikh, all of them had lived peacefully together. Now were turning against each other, and they lost their minds and their humanity. My grandfather left behind his wife and children in India, not thinking much about the chaos that was about to erupt, and he went to arrange for a job and housing in the new Pakistan. The 6 children, my father and my grandmother, were to come by train the following weeks ahead. But then all hell broke loose. My grandfather rushed to send a telegram. He said, "Don't take the trains. Stop. They are coming into the station full of dead bodies. Stop." My grandmother, she received that telegram just in time. But for many, it was too late. And it was violence on all sides. And over 1 million people were lost their lives that summer. And this is a lost story that we need to connect to. My family traveled by bullock cart all the way from northern India to Bombay, and then stayed in a refugee camp for a month until they could get a boat to travel by sea, so they would try the safest route to get to Karachi. On the way, the boat, which was not too big but not too small, stopped working in the Arabian Sea. It was 10 days floating out there, and supplies were dwindling, and finally they were rescued and brought to safety in Karachi with the clothes on their back. All those boxes, suitcases, gone. A new life had to be started. My question to you is, how do we heal from wounds that run so deep? And is there a path forward? 70 years later, it's still very hard for Indians and Pakistanis to get a visa to visit. And the line of partition divides many families. And shockingly, there is no memorial for all these lost lives. And yet, it is only through knowing our history that we can move forward. We can acknowledge those wrongs committed and connect to our deepest losses so we can truly heal. Recently, an Indian American woman in San Francisco, a Sikh woman, she created a digital archive called the 1947 Partition Archive in San Francisco is where they're based. But they're interviewing people all over the world, and they're sourcing what they call historians, citizen historians. So you can sign up after a 2-hour tutorial to record the stories of the people that lived and saw this. My father is 80 years old. I recorded his story. My grandmother, I lost her story with her when she passed away. It's so important to talk to our elders and to find out the things that they know and share. To date, we have recorded over 7,500 stories and interviews from 400 cities and from over 12 countries worldwide. I encourage you to check out their work, because every moment counts. And these stories are windows into another time. They are gifts that we need to pass on to the next generation. And I ask you to do the same. What story are we going to be building here in Portland for our future? Some of you have come to Portland like I did a couple of years ago, 10 years ago. Some of you have been born here. Some of you are refugees or immigrants. Portland is a very diverse community, but there are many things that we don't know about its history, and unless we figure out how to move forward with that, it will be very difficult. I'm going to share with you that in the 1920s, almost 4,000 Japanese farmers were living in East Portland. They were farming that land. There was one farmer named the Shigozi family that owned 600 acres in Montevilla on 82nd and Stark. Yes. In 1942, the Japanese farm Americans were forced off of their land and interned. And this is a picture of the Portland International Livestock Building, which is now currently the Oregon Convention Center, where almost 4,000 Japanese families were sequestered for almost like 5 months, I think, before they were interned in various camps across the West. But 100 years later, the Asian American Pacific Islander organization called APANO has built and raised $2 million to build their community center on that very same land, off of Stark and 82nd Division. And they are doing amazing work, and they're advocating for social justice for all Asian Americans across the state of Oregon. And for the last 4 years, I have been working with the youth and APANO in East Portland as a placekeeping artist. One of the facts about our city is that we are pretty divided in terms of where we live and who gets access to services like libraries. This map actually shows you 82nd as the dividing line, and you can see communities of color have been pushed east of 82nd and north, and that also leads to the fact that we have only one library east of 82nd, only 2 parks that have been developed east of 82nd. So this continues to be an issue of equity and structural racism that exists right here in our own cities. What are we going to do about that? So I'm going to share with you this project called Rcdr Voice. It was a creative advocacy project that I worked with Madison High School, which is on 82nd, and they designed zines, and they were 6 zines, 6 advocacy points that they wanted to bring to City Hall to talk to the mayor about what they wanted to do. And the top 6 points were, we need representation, we need paved roads, sidewalks, we need housing that's affordable, we need jobs in our neighborhoods, we need our justice, and we need our voices heard. This drawing was not made by me. It was made by a student at Madison High School. He was barely 16, maybe 17. And I asked him, this is a really powerful image. Why are the lines cut through the things that we want? And he said, this has been historically denied to us, and we need to fight to get these things done, any which way, how. And I will no longer be silenced. That was really powerful. And I think that coming from a young man who has lived this reality and had to walk on 82nd with no sidewalks to get to his school in fear of getting run over, with only one library, with no parks growing up, these are the issues that we have to fight for. Because I didn't tell you that more than 40% of all children growing up in Portland are growing up east of 82nd. Yes, that's our future. And we need to invest in that. So we made zines with this. They were small. We could move them around like that and like that. I brought some today. And we printed over 2,000. We went to City Hall. We showed them the work. We talked to our commissioners. It made an impact. We gave silkscreen posters, hundreds of them. We made murals on the sides of 82nd. where the new community center for Apana was. And then we did a 100-foot banner. We zip-tied together 6 different banners with all the demands that they wanted, and they moved across 82nd and Division in a performative space there. And lastly, we did a theater presentation about the issues of our community and our sense of belonging in the community and being rooted in that space. Our fears have a way of silencing us and boxing us in. We are all interconnected. Our survival is tied to the survival of everyone on this planet. So, as Katie said, right, Kate? She said, you gotta show up. So I'm asking you to step out of your box. You had to climb over those walls and look out of your window into a space that you don't know about, something unknown. Invite over that neighbor you've never met. Volunteer at that school that's 3 miles away that you've never been to and they really need your help. Create a community center where people can dream and protest. Travel to a country you've never been to. We can all find our path forward by breaking down these boxes and painting a new vision for our communities and reclaiming those lost stories that we need to learn from. Because when you look out of your window of identity, wherever you are in this world, we're all breathing the same air, and we are all under the same blue sky. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. And is there a place we can find those stories? Is there a website or?
Yes, so it's called the Partition Archive, 1947 Partition Archive.
Okay. Also, I'd just like to point out that the Apano building that's just been completed is right across the street from our Southeast campus, our PCC Southeast campus. I know some of you take classes out there, but it's a beautiful area. It's becoming more beautiful, let's put it that way, we hope. Also, I'd like to introduce we have a Board of Director member here from PCC's Board of Directors. Michael Sonlander is joining us. And he has a long history of teaching on this campus, so many of you may recognize him. Okay, now we're ready to give out some awards. So we'll start with the Asian Studies Focus Award, and I have a list here, and I understand somebody has to go right away because they are on the shuttle to Rock Creek. So Lauren Evans, would you please come up? Here's a pen. Love PCC pens. Here's your certificate. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the program? Why were you interested?
I'm interested because I'm going to get a degree in linguistics at University of Oregon in the fall, and I've been really, really interested in like all things language, but like specifically languages that use characters. So I've been really interested in like the Asian languages. I've taught myself Korean since my junior year. I've been taking Chinese for 2 years. I just started Japanese, and I've been learning Spanish for 8 years, but that's along the side.
Nice.
But yeah.
Good for you. Did I touch something I shouldn't have? Did I break it? That could have been. Our next recipient is Sudi Ahmed. Ahmed. Oh, there you are. We thought you left. Certificate and your pen. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, sure.
Hi everyone. So I started taking Japanese this year, and I'm an international politics major. So I already took modern China and its neighbors for political science and global studies, peace and conflict. I'm going to Japan and Korea this summer to study peace and conflict studies. I'm going to Willamette to study immigration law. And so Japanese, I started taking it this year because I thought it was a really cool language. And I currently speak 3 languages fluently, and I'm learning 4 more. And I thought that Japanese would be pretty cool. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm really impressed because I speak one language and maybe not even that well. And my foreign language studies were pretty dismal. How about Gears Cleaver? Did I say it right? Did I say it right? Congratulations. There you go.
Thanks.
How about you? Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? I'm hoping to get a bachelor's of creative writing, and I find that it's very hard to see like more than 10 feet in front of your face. So by studying, having an Asian focus, it really opens my horizon. I can see a lot more.
Wonderful. Next, we have Zachary Lawrence. There you go, Zachary. You want to say anything about your studies?
Yeah, I'll be doing international studies in the fall at University of Oregon, and I'll also be learning more Japanese. I've been doing Japanese at PCC for about 2 years now, and I'll be really excited to continue my education, so thank you.
Zachary Parrott. Your swag and your certificate. Do you want to say a little bit?
Of course. Hey guys, so I've been, up until about a year ago, I had no clue what I wanted to do at all when I grew up. This past year, especially at PCC, has been a very eye-opening year for me. I've been taking Japanese this year, and I've been taking some other Asian-focused classes, and I've decided that I really want to go to Japan someday, and I'd like to teach English over there. So, and I'd like to thank Takako Yamaguchi and Sylvia Gray, because they've been big inspirations for me, so thank you guys.
Ike Tusa Espadilla. Did I do okay? What should be a bit different?
Oh, it's fine.
You sure? Give me your names. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you want to say a little bit?
Yeah, sure thing. Go
Oops.
for it.
Can't lose that pen.
Yep. Well, I picked out the Japanese department as my main focus while I was spending time here at PCC in hopes of being able to expand my skill sets for my international supply chain logistics degree that I'm going to be getting from Temple University. And I really hoped to be able to use these skills in that field because coming from an already bilingual and now trilingual background, I've always wanted to try to use all of those things to my advantage and try to create a more sophisticated and useful network for not only myself, but the people who work with me in business and making sure that everybody can have an opportunity to explore a different country either through products or goods or services or just have an experience of tourism. I just have lots of goals that rely on being able to explore as many different countries as possible, and it's going to start with Japan, and I'm going to try to expand the most on Eastern Asian cultures and countries to be able to get to that. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. So now we move on to the Global Studies Focus Award, and our first person is, again, Zachary Lawrence. Are you a little bit of an overachiever?
Probably.
There you go. Congratulations.
Cool. I guess I already spoke, but I just want to say thank you to Sylvia Gray and to Brian and to Kako Gamaguchi and Chiho Sensei, Chiho Murphy. And Chiho Murphy might not be here today, but I want to thank my teachers. So they're really great teachers. They are really important to letting all this happen here at PCC. They help you grow and learn. So arigatou gozaimashita.
Leticia Navarro? Here? Yeah. Did I do okay with your name? What is it? Leticia. I'm sorry. There you go, Leticia. Do you want to say something?
Well, I decided to focus on international and global studies just because I've noticed that I become a better person when I'm aware of other cultures and other countries. So I want to expand on that and keep going my career on that.
Dana Sarber? You did what? Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Congratulations. Do you want to say something? What you've done here?
So I've always been interested in international literature, so I figure learning other languages be a good way to be able to read in the language that the book was written, and I think get a better understanding that way.
Graciela? You going to help me with your last name, please? Sobrowski. It's not as... Soborowski, okay. There you go. Do you want to say something?
Sure. I've always wanted to do humanitarian aid, so I thought, why not learn about it? So, yeah.
Sam Wynn. Sam Wynn, sorry. Would you like to say something?
Hi, so this is my third Focus Award, and I want to thank every staff at PCC, so thank you.
So, very impressive group, very impressive. I'm happy for all of you, and I can tell there's going to be great things coming from all of you. Right now, what I'd like to do is honor the faculty that are here, because I see many of them, and so why don't you either step forward or raise your hands, faculty who all teach it. You're not shy in the classroom. Why are you shy here? And there's Brian. So thank you all for all that you do and all the efforts you've put into these service awards to make them happen. So, yay for the faculty. Patrick Dukes is not here? Okay, did I miss anyone? Sometimes that happens. I got everyone? Okay. Yes. So that ends the formal part of the ceremony. However, we would like to give this to Amanda for all of her hard work. She put all of this together and arranged it. She made all the spring rolls by hand, and thank you so much. So there's lots more food, and so continue to mingle and have a good time, and then get to class. Thank you.